And let me just tell you that if I hadn't been able to speak English, I would have been screwed. Hey everyone, this video is going to be a little story time video. If you are subscribed to our family channel, then you know that my son and I are in the United States right now. If you are not but are curious to learn more, you can go ahead and watch a couple of our recent videos. I'll put a pop-up link up here and in the description box. Oh my goodness. It feels so good to be able to work again and to actually do something that I'm used to doing. Okay, now let's jump right into the topic of today's video. One thing that I hear the most from people who want to learn English is that the only way to learn it is to be in an English-speaking country, or that they will learn it once they are there because they think it's somehow going to be easier. Oh boy, are they mistaken. Not only is it not going to be easier, but on the contrary, more difficult to learn English when they are actually already in an English-speaking country. You absolutely have to have at least a basic level of English to be able to say or ask something and to be able to understand people, which is even more important. In this video, I want to share with you a couple of situations that I had to face and deal with on my way to the United States, and one situation that happened to me right when I got here. And let me just tell you that if I hadn't been able to speak English, I would have been screwed. So let's start with the situation number one. To get to the United States, I had to take 3 flights. It's a long story. Maybe I'll share it on our family channel. The first flight was to Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport. I'm pretty sure that I'm butchering this name. I'm sorry. We got there at 10 p.m. and we had an overnight layover. It's a huge airport. When I got out, I lost my way more than once. And naturally, I needed to ask people for help. And there were a lot of people who didn't speak any English, and it was late and there was almost no staff. But fortunately, I found some people who did speak a bit of English. A couple of those people would send me in different directions, and I would end up not where I needed to be, until I finally found the right person to help me find my way to my terminal. Or so I thought. In the morning, when we proceeded to the security check at our terminal, it turned out that they had changed the gate. So I needed to ask where to go, in English, of course. And beyond that, I needed to understand where I was told to go. Situation number 2. And let's back up a little bit. When I was boarding my first flight, I asked about my luggage, and I was told that I needed to claim it at the end of my trip, that it was going all the way to my destination point and that I didn't need to worry about it. However, when our second flight landed before our last one, the flight attendants made an announcement, as they usually do. And they said that we needed to claim our luggage and transfer it by ourselves to the connecting flight at the dedicated luggage drop-off. It was a little bit difficult to make out what the flight attendants said, so on my way out, I asked them about this, and they confirmed that we needed to take care of our luggage by ourselves, otherwise it would stay there. It was also difficult to navigate my way in the Mexico airport. It was just chaos there, and asking people for directions and help were the only ways to find my way. Situation number 3, and the most dramatic one that took place when I had just arrived in the United States. So to get to the people I was going to stay with for 2 days, I needed to take a train. Nothing special, right? Or so I thought. When I got to the train station, it turned out that I needed to buy a ticket online or use one of the machines at the train station, but they didn't work. I saw a little trailer with a sign that read tickets. I went there and asked the lady in the trailer if I could buy a ticket from her. She said no, I couldn't, and that I needed to buy it online. However, I didn't have any data on my phone to do so. Then she told me that I shouldn't worry about it and that I could buy a ticket on the train, and that purchasing a ticket that way is very common because many people might not have time to buy their ticket on time, nor have data on their phone, just like me. And I was like, okay, sounds like a great solution. So I go back to the train station and wait for my train. While I was waiting, I asked a couple of people if they knew if I could get a ticket on the train. Some of them said that they didn't know, and some of them said that I probably could. When the train came, there was a couple of announcements, one of which said that the ones who didn't have tickets would be fined and then thrown out of the train at the next stop. But I still boarded the train because the next one would have come in 4 hours. And well, the ticket lady told me that I could buy a ticket on the train after all. So we got on the train, I found free seats, and we sat down. But I was feeling uneasy about us not having tickets. There were men sitting across from us, so I asked them if they knew whether I could get a ticket on the train. They said that they thought so, but they weren't sure. And then we heard the announcement once again, and the men were like, well, apparently you can't. But we don't think that they will throw you out with a child. And then I told them that I was not from there and I'd prefer not to risk it. And then I asked them if they could buy me a ticket and I would give them cash in return. They were like middle-aged men, so they called their younger friend for help. And thank God he did help. When the ticket inspector came to check our tickets, I asked her if I could buy a ticket from her. And she said that they weren't selling tickets on trains anymore due to COVID, so no, I could not. And then I asked her if they would show me out if I didn't have a ticket. And she said, yes, absolutely. So there you go, right there. Right when I stepped foot in the United States, I needed English. Otherwise, I'd have had a very hard time here right from the start. So the moral of my story is learn English before coming to an English-speaking country. It'll also help you feel a lot more comfortable there and adjust better. It is crucial to know at least some English when you're planning to visit an English-speaking country. Not to mention the fact that it's an international language and people speak English all around the world. Therefore, you can always find someone who speaks at least some English. So it would be helpful nonetheless. Well, that's what I think. And to be honest, I don't have any problems communicating with people here for the most part. But sometimes in stores or cafes or outside where it's a little loud, or because of some people's specific ways of speaking, they would throw some casual phrases that I can't quite make out. And I need to ask them, what was that? Come again, please. And yes, some Americans speak very incoherently, blending words together, and it takes you a second or two to decipher what you have just heard. So that would be all from me, guys, for this video. Please share your opinions with us in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you aren't subscribed yet, but you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing. And now I want to apologize for the quality of this video and for the quality of my future videos, because right now I'm filming them by myself and I don't even have lights. So you're gonna have to bear with me, please. Okay? Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.